good evening, and welcome back. Welcome tonight to the VIP show here on My Psychic Connection with myself. And I am Cassidy, the card slinger. If you don't know me, welcome to the show. I am so excited to be back. I've been on break here from the regular season for a couple of weeks now, and all of us are doing our VIP shows, and it is my week this week. So I'm very, very excited to be here, guys. Thanks for tuning in. So do pop in and say hello. I love to see who's coming into the door. And how these shows work is they are by donation only. So if you're interested in getting a ticket for a reading tonight, it will be floating around here in the chat. You can also go to www.journeyryanlive.com/VIP-show. And tickets are going to be available there. So one of the nice things about tonight is all of the readings are untimed. So you can have as long as you need for me to get your question to come out. To get your answer to come out to the question that you have. And of course, guys, the regular rules are still in place. So I'm not going to be doing anything legal or medical that includes pregnancy or anything physical health related. So make sure you guys are seeing the correct and appropriate professionals for those sorts of questions. Also, no general readings tonight, guys. If you are interested in getting a reading, please provide a specific question. A little bit of context is really helpful, and we can dive right in. So the two reading options that are available, there's the mini reading and the mega reading. The mini reading is if you've got one question that you want me to really dive into, and the mega reading's good if it's a big complex situation, you've got multiple questions, there's many people involved, or a couple of different areas you're interested in. So that is the difference between those two readings there. And what else do I want to say about that? Yeah, the megas do jump right to the front of the line, and then we are taking them in the order that they show up. So guys, I'm so excited to be here. It's really nice to be back. Welcome to this is the 4th VIP show. And yeah, I'm really, really looking forward to being here with everyone. And happy Friday, guys. Happy Friday. Thanks for tuning in. Where I'm at, I'm up in Canada. It's a long weekend here. Canada Day is tomorrow, so July 1st. And then for all the folks south of the border, you guys will be celebrating July 4th next week, which is super exciting. So lots of reasons to celebrate. And guys, if you didn't know, it is Journey's birthday today. So happy birthday, Journey. Guys, please make sure you're sending him some love and wishing him a happy birthday as well, because he is the brains behind My Psychic Connection and a phenomenal person and just an exceptional reader. So it's been an absolute pleasure to work with him. And we're celebrating his birthday as well. So what else do I want to say? If you are checking out our content, guys, on YouTube, it is popping over there. Make sure you are subscribed to our YouTube channel, because there is videos that come out daily, weekly, and monthly over and above all of the regular shows. So every single day, we've got the angel numbers of the day with Destiny K, Divine Love and Light, and those are so inspirational and insightful. Every single day, she's bringing those numbers to you, as well as myself. I'm doing the card of the day, so either I'm reading tarot cards, oracle cards, I did Lenormand last time. Whatever cards I've got on my table, I'll bring you a message through the cards every single day. And then our weekly content, we've got the transits and you with Squirrel, which is just the coolest way to understand what is going on in the sky and how it is impacting each and every one of us. Doesn't matter if you know nothing about astrology or if you're a professional astrologer as well. She breaks it down in a way that is very useful to people who know that side of things, as well as just anybody else who's interested in knowing, well, what can I expect for this week? We've also got 2 new shows that are joining us as well. So the Enchanted Spread with Psychic K, and the first one just came out a couple days ago. So check that out. That is such a treat. And there's going to be more coming out every single week, as well as Spilling the Tea with Psychic Energy, where she's doing tea leaf readings. And it's so cool because she flips the video camera and you can see into the cup that she is looking into, which is it's really neat. Not a lot of people practice that divination art form anymore, or that you see as often. So check that out. There's tons of content every single week. And monthly, we have the Mythology of Astrology series with Squirrel. And if you did not catch the one that was on Monday for the story of Cancer, go back and watch it. It moved me so deeply. I was there live, and then I came back and watched it again the next day. It was so good. And every single month, she's going through the mythology of the sun sign that we are going through astrologically. So Leo will be coming up next in about a month's time. So that is all of the really cool content that we have on the go. And I'm so excited to be here tonight. I can see some people popping in. Hi, Rose. Hi, Rebecca. Hi, Kay. Hi, everybody. It's so nice to see everyone here. So I'm going to go ahead and grab my deck and start giving her a good shuffle here. And I'll be ready to take my first question, please. This is for Miss Collins. Hello, my dear. Let me just grab a quick sip of my cosmic cranberry. It's very warm here. Nice. Summertime. All right. Miss Collins says, I would love for you to dive into what I can do to open myself up. I've been scorned by a lot of people I've trusted. I'm so sorry to hear that. And have a hard time wanting to truly give my heart to anyone again. This affects not only my romantic relationship, but also friendships and family. It's been a lot of betrayals and hurt, and I'd love to be more receptive to creating healthy relationships. Oh, that is such a beautiful question. Thank you so much for your question and for your support here tonight. Can I have the first portion of that question here? Because these are my long untimed readings. I'm going to just write myself that quick little note here. So opening yourself up really just in general, as it is impacting your relationships and your general outlook or your general life as such. So let's take a look at what's going on here. Now, typically, folks, if you've ever seen me go ahead and do an untimed reading before, my table's going to be filled with cards. I can't even tell you how many I will have by the time the reading starts. So with that, I do take a little bit of extra time in shuffling it out, and there's already a few different decks that are asking to be used for this particular reading. And I've got a couple of threads in mind for you, my dear. So let's take a look for you. Advice and guidance for you in opening up. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna really look into this one. Okay, let's get some cards down. And then I can just get right to talking. Okay. Okay, got a lot of cards here. I'm going to switch decks. Where is this one? So, initially, right off the bat, to me, how this is coming across and what we're talking about here, where you're having a hard time opening back up, you did already say that it is impacting various aspects of relationships, but what I want to bring it to first is the relationship that you have with yourself and with your own ability to trust yourself. Sorry, didn't mean to say that like circularly back on itself. But I think we need to start here before we branch it outwards anywhere beyond that. What I really feel initially here is you're carrying some level of a guilt for I should have known. How did I not see such and such coming? I want to say in particular, the hardships that you've suffered and the people, as you had mentioned, that have screwed you over, that have done you wrong in the past, that I'm seeing some very calculated, conniving, not using this word lightly, like evil stuff, right? So it's not like, I want to say the first thing is you didn't miss a bunch of obvious signals and signs that things were going wrong for a long time. There seems to be a calculated force behind how these people were acting towards you, such that, you know, I want to really point it back to starting with forgiving yourself and opening back up to your own intuition and your own self within yourself as a result of what this has done. Because it's kind of like once we start losing our trust externally, what these cards are showing to me is that the trust is also being lost internally. And once that, you know, our little internal gyroscope has been knocked over, it's hard to find our true north, our navigational point for moving forward in life. And carrying, I just keep getting a sense of guilt and a burden for staying in situations longer than you perhaps in hindsight should have. And it's another thing I want to say too with that is the hindsight being 2020 thing is part of sort of where the guilt is coming in, where you're going back through. It's almost like it's weighing very emotionally, but as well very logically within yourself for how. Yeah, I mean, I want to move past that part because I think I've expressed that fairly clearly. But the first layer to this is working through forgiveness of your own self for who you were, because you were doing the absolute best that you could have, and you should have been able to give your heart to the people that you did, and you should have been able to open yourself the way that you did. And those actions were aligned largely with who you are and how you want to be. And the fact that other people corrupted that and the crap that they did to you reflects, of course, on them, not on you. But now wearing this as like uh, a protective barrier, to not open yourself back up. And I can really see how deep this goes, because it is fundamentally about who you are and how you are with other people. Because I think you are a very fun-natured, loving, caring individual. And having to suppress that is like just crushing such a core part of who you are and how you get through your day, how you see the world. It's very, you probably feel very dissociated as you're working through this. And having said all of that, underlying for this spread, I've got like right at the bottom of my spread here is the 8 of Coins upright. So much of what I am saying to you now, at least so far, jumping into this, is that it's probably not news. This isn't all the way out of left field, because you have actually actively been working on this. You're not a bystander in how you are expressing yourself. You seem to be incredibly conscious and aware of how this has impacted and affected you. And it seems like you're not just taking the steps to fix it, but understanding really what went wrong and diving into it, and then exploring it further. So the work that you're consciously and always doing is actually helping. It's helping a lot. Whatever you're spending your time researching, if you're reading books, if you're looking at this, I want to say in the right way and really holistically. So I can't jump any further without giving you a huge kudos and a huge pat on the back for the work that you have already done so far, because it's evident that this is a journey you have already started. Every time I say the word journey, I'm just like, hey, journey. So, okay, so that is where I wanted to start with that. So the forgiveness of yourself, the trying to not carry any more guilt than you need to, because there is such a purity to the intentions of your actions that were treated so poorly that it breaks my heart to see that these people did this to you. And I do not wish them any peace today. So now looking at moving forward and other things that I want to say. So let's get a couple more cards on the table here. I can really see it's so clear to me, your awareness of this and how it's impacting you. I don't feel like I need to go into the ways that this is manifesting for you, because it's like if you act in a certain way, you say something and you know immediately that it's not right, or you know that it's caused from that wound and you're not operating from your more true self. It's like you see that immediately. You probably don't live with a whole lot of like, oh, I can't believe. That's not really what I want to say. I'll just settle it to say, like, your awareness of how this is impacting you is also very on point. And I want to say too, largely because of the work that you're doing. Now, I can absolutely see here, I've got the Knight of Cups upright. So any work that you are doing in helping and offering to other people is already on the right path to helping you heal through this. Because I can see there's a lot of fear here from getting hurt again and from reopening these wounds, and from I just, like, you don't want to ever experience what you went through. And you can also really well relate to other people who have gone through similar things, and through your helping of them, what I want to say here too is to heed your own advice and what you give to someone else. Like, that might be something you want to try. If someone were to come to you with a question or a something, if someone were to come to you with what you are coming to the world with and ask you the question, and you were to give a third party an answer, you may almost want to try this, putting your phone up and giving advice and then listening to that back for yourself. Because I can see here too that the healing that you provide to others is incredible. You have a gift to help other people through either what you have been through or something similar. Your presence is very healing on its own. So I will say that as well. And it can stem from that, either the lack of trust or the guilt that you're carrying, to try and take your own advice, because in no short terms, you're brilliant. You're absolutely brilliant, and you know what people need to get through this. And you, my dear, are also people. You are someone who could really move forward with the advice that you're giving to other people. So I want to get a few more cards here down now as well. Can I have that question up just one more time, if you don't mind, there, for the lovely folks in the back, while I grab just another deck here. Dive into what I can do to open myself up. I've been speaking to a lot of people. Had a hard time. Wanted to truly give my heart to again. Okay, thank you very much. So I want to give you actions to take as well. In this regard, apart from, yes, we've got the turning it all back inward before we look at it externally, and heeding your own advice. But I want to see what else the cards have to say surrounding this for you, my dear. Okay, this is so nice, and I want to leave this deck too. So fun, and I'm not going to get the bell tonight because these are not timed readings. I'm just having a great old time here. So the first card I have is, it says grounding. Go deep and explore your roots. So I'm getting a whole heck of a lot out of this card. And the second card here, I'll just show you. It says cleansing waters, purification activates vibrant life force. So both of these, grounding and water. So I don't know how you find your connection with nature and how these sorts of things really impact you. But this is, we've got the card of earth and the card of water here right now. Spending time outside, if you can, is great. Anytime you can get out for a swim is always really nice as well. But this first card, going deep and exploring your roots. And grounding doesn't have to necessarily, of course, be out in nature. It can be working with crystals. It can just be a meditation within yourself. But I want to say there's a need here to sort of pull yourself. I'm going to say this, pulling yourself back together first. Where it says exploring your roots, I just feel like there's a lot of fragmented energy that has still been left to other people and to situations that either needs to be called back to you or cut off. So that might be a little bit spiritual sounding, but do heed that in mind. And that might take, I can see like visualization work really being helpful here, either journaling. This woman here has got a book in front of her. I don't know if you are someone who journals or writes. You can also try the writing a letter to someone and never sending it, or burning it as a way to send it, burying it, giving it back to the earth. There is a lot that I would say is still, in saying this, I feel like it's not going to sound like this will resonate, but just bear with me. There's a lot that needs to get out still within you. We're still hanging on to some stuff, even if it feels like you have moved past it. Either a forgiveness, and when I say forgiveness, that quote, forgiveness is the gift we give ourselves for someone else's mistake. So it's a way to, like I said, either cut off these little energetic ties that you have left over to other people, and or calling your energy back that was left there. So anything that you're still finding is, and looking into cord cutting too, I would say is not a bad way to look as well. And going deep, exploring your roots. I don't know if you have an existing practice with your ancestors or with your ancestral spirit body, but I think that there's a lot of healing that you can find in ancestral work in this regard as well. So keep both of those in mind. With the second card, cleansing waters, purification activates vibrant life force. Working with the element of water, right? So it can be activating this type of thing in your shower, charging water before you make your tea, crystal water, things like that. It goes quite well with this grounding, because there's a need to detach as well as a need to flush out and physically purify yourself, to accompany when we're cutting these attachments and these cords with other people. So that is the next one I have, and I wanted to lay one more card for you here as well from this particular deck. All right, so here we have Wondrous Universe, Walk in Beauty. I like this as well. So, okay, with this, going back to this grounding, going deep, exploring your roots, like you already said in your question, the number of things that this is impacting. And it was so clear in my first portion of this reading, your awareness of this and the work that you're already actively doing on it. Where it says walk in beauty here with this particular card, rediscovering your confidence in these relationships and rediscovering your voice and how you present yourself to others and being able to share that side of you more openly. Another thing to keep in mind is if you are still to this moment, you've got people in your lives that you maybe hide a part of yourself for, or what I want to say is, as opposed to putting any more energy and effort into these relationships that are either one-sided or just aren't really giving you anything, spending as much time as you can and surrounding yourself with people who are accepting of you and who genuinely, truly celebrate you. So there's this portion of this where it's healing your own self from the inside out. And then the other portion of this is, all right, everybody around me, I am wonderful and I'm ready for the world to reflect that wonder back to me. But again, without just in a general sense, without that expectation, because people will always bring what it is that they are able to bring. So the faults that they carry with them, it's hard to not take everything, especially if you're a very empathic individual here, taking these things personally, feeling things quite a bit more deeply, and just being very intentional with how you live your life, such that when things like this occur, it's like, it turns that back on ourselves, and it's like, oh, I should have saw that coming, or there is still that level of guilt that I'm seeing to be worked through there. But largely, those are the main sources of advice. I did want to lay from just one other deck here, if there's anything else to say for you in this regard. Because and even in saying this, with as much as I've had to say, you are so on your way to dealing with this on your own and with what you've already done. Seriously, another round of applause to you and the work that you've already done. Because I don't see either that you have entirely shut off, but to the degree that you have shut off, it just feels like if you as your light is shining at 100%, and where you are in certain cases dimming that light to 70%, 60%, 40%, it's like any deviation from that 100, even if you're shining at a 90, you're going to feel fragmented or not whole. So that's where I was saying here too, with finding those other people, spending as much time as you can in those relationships where you can shine that 100%, and it's met with applause and celebration and love and, constructive feedback, and just that knowing that someone there on the other side will care, but without the attachment to any part of, it's hard to say, it's hard to like bring that full circle, but to not take on the faults of other people as anything wrong with yourself, or anything that you did, anything that you should have prevented or that you could have done differently, because that's not at all what it's about. So, as I said, I had one more deck here that I wanted to lay for you, my dear, in terms of opening up. If there's anything else, just need a little bit more space. Sorry, I'm picking up cards and putting down cards. I had to use my smaller table here today because my big table, it's very warm up there. What is the last portion I have? Oh, beautiful. I keep going back to like either research that you've done or things that you've put into practice that you have learned from somewhere else. I feel like the tools that you have acquired through your own research are fantastic. And those are partly you'll find already working for you. But know this too, it's distilling this, my last message here, down into a very daily practice type thing, and energetically on a reminder type basis. I've got 9 cards in the spread here, so I unfortunately can't like hold it up. But one of the cards I do have here is the letter, followed by the anchor and the ship in a line here. What I want to say with that is daily reminders, daily check-ins with yourself, and working on this one actively once or more times a day. Whether that means like the background on your phone is saying one thing, there's the lock screen and there's the menu screen. So there's two things that you can have in place there. Sticky notes, reminders, things up where you are constantly, this is going to sound weird to say, but like brainwashing yourself out of the mental habits you find yourself in that are keeping yourself close. Because at the moment, it seems like the heart is there, pure, beating and shining, but the shell around it is coming from a more mental space, if that makes any sense. So needing a need for a repetitive, continuous reminder to yourself, a note in your car. I'm just seeing like these constant, beautiful reminders. The energy I'm getting from you is just exceptional. You are such a bright person. Oh, this is so nice. Yeah. So, okay. And just in terms of like seeing this play out and progress, this is going to be a tremendous growth cycle for you. And it looks like it will be coming sort of in either cyclical or ebb and flow type of a way, where we will find that the boundaries of that ebb and flow are shrinking over time. So you can imagine if you're dealing with this right now, it's looking kind of like a wave that goes up and down this far, and then eventually it's going to go up and down this far, and eventually it's going to just maybe go up and down this far. So I feel like the priority here in all of what I have said up till now in terms of guidance for this, to just anything that you can do to minimize your attachment to, okay, I'm opening myself up in case, and I don't want to if, or any, like the but. Let's talk about the but just for one moment. I don't know if you've heard the concept of when people say like, I want to get this thing, but this thing, right? Like I want to open up to people, but I'm afraid of getting hurt. Maybe that's not a particularly good example, but not always attaching the first portion of the thing to something else that can negate it from happening. So it's like, I'm wanting to open up to people, and that's a gift I am giving to myself. We can keep these boundaries in place. And that's probably the last thing I'll say in this regard as well, is that a clear boundary with an open heart is the right way to go, as opposed to a closed heart with the boundary around the heart. So anytime that you're taking things from someone to heart in a way, no, that's not what I want to say. Sorry, that's going down a totally wrong path. But nevertheless, exploring what healthy boundaries really look like for you, how you can express yourself within that upper and lower limit, forgiving yourself, tapping into any ancestral work that you can, that aspect of grounding, and kind of individually revisiting. It's going to be painful and it's going to hurt. Revisiting those parts that you feel are holding you down, cutting those cords, pulling that energy back, and just starting this process. And that's where it's like the dip part is going to go. And then all of the tools that you have are going to be back up into the high point of it. Because I see this taking place at a very consistent rate. It doesn't seem like an overnight thing, and it doesn't seem like a 10-year thing, but it's a beautiful progression of you actively working on this and being, I would say at the beginning here, very selective with who you are including into these trials. Those people that can see the wondrous person that you are, and like I said, accept and celebrate all that you bring forward. And again, it's hard to know, but not attaching ourselves to, well, if this person does X, then I'm going to be, broken. And again, easier said than done, but just where we are practicing or playing where it is safe, right? Like make yourself those like kids play areas where like all the walls are padded. Make yourself your own mental walls padded area with good people that you can trust and that you love and that are wonderful, and play around in there. And I will go ahead and leave you with that rather silly visual, my dear, but I do hope that was helpful, and I certainly wish you all the best. Keep going on the path that you're on. You're doing incredible work, both on yourself and for others, which is within its own way coming back around and healing you as well. So that touches my heart. Thank you so much for your question and for your support of the show tonight. And thank you again. I hope that you have a wonderful weekend. Happy Friday to you. So allow me to just take another sip. I am drinking, yes, it is Cosmic Cranberry. So I'm drinking my Cosmic Cranberry Kombucha today. Delightful. All right. So I will take my next question here, please, to the wonderful folks in the back. We've got Rebecca. Hi, darling. All right. So let me go ahead. Before I read that question, I'm just like looking to the side because until I am completely disconnected from the last reading, I just want to go ahead and shuffle that right out. All right. So we have a mini reading with the darling and wonderful Rebecca. Hi, Rebecca. Rebecca, my cards are flying all over the place already. I hope that things are well with you. Sorry about that. All right, Rebecca says, hi, Cassidy. I would like to know if you can see how the holidays are going to be for me and my family. I will need to go to Green Bay to be with my daughter-in-law, who is having a baby around that time. Oh, that's so exciting. I've never not had a big family Christmas. Oh, I've never not had a big family Christmas since my kids were little. I'm feeling down about it. Thank you. Sorry, can you pull up the first portion of that question again? Sorry. I would like to know if you can see how the holidays are going to go for me and my family. I will need to go to Green Bay to be with my daughter-in-law who's having a baby around that time. Okay, cool. So you won't be with your entire family. I'm just getting this correctly. Because you're used to having the bigger family all together, which is, yeah, that's always fun too. But how it's going to go going and spending time with this one child as opposed to everybody being together. So let's take a look at that. She says, my daughter-in-law is quite anxious person. She made it known she wants me only to come there. I 100% want to be there. It's just so not normal for me. I want to be with the grandbaby. So she's wanting to keep it, wants you there, but not the whole, my husband would say the whole family. So not everyone. Okay, let's take a look at that. I love that we're doing a reading about Christmas already. This is awesome. I had a job once that we did a Christmas in July celebration. We made a tree and baked cookies. It was hilarious. So allow me to just pop a couple of these cards back. There's a few decks that want to come forward. I am having a great time with this non-timed reading thing. So how the holidays are going to go. I'm going to focus this specifically on for you at the moment, and we'll see, just sort of how this looks overall. Not just being a very different Christmas in comparison to how it normally looks. So how is it going to go? And while I'm shuffling this here, I'm just wanting to ask, the family that you won't be seeing, are they pretty far away? If you are there with them, you won't be seeing anyone else around that time. So it's sort of like a either or. The fact that you're going there, you won't be seeing anyone else. Just to ask that as well. Let's take a look, my dear. How is that going to go for you? All righty. So, okay, well, a little bit of a mixed bag, but overall, I do like what I am seeing here, and energetically, it's not looking too bad. She says, my other son's in Germany. My daughter should be in her new place and can spend it with her boyfriend. Okay, cool. Because, yeah, it it really does seem like there's a number of moving parts, and it's like Christmases are happening all over the place here. So, I think, well, for starters, it's going to be a very cool thing to be around there that a baby is coming at that time. I'm not predicting pregnancy readings or anything like that, but that's very cool and very exciting to be there around that time. As well, I think so she says, my husband, I don't know, I guess he would go to my daughter's. Okay. Interesting, with your husband as well. What I'm seeing there surrounding your husband is that it will come to the I think with her word in saying she just wants you there, if she was designing her Christmas, that is sort of how she would have it. But I'm not seeing that the invite is not being extended to your husband. If he wants to go, I feel like that invitation might come a bit late, because at the moment it feels like you're the only one that's invited, and it doesn't look like he's going to want to go, or he's not welcome there at this time. But know that sort of a late or last minute, not last minute, but a bit, she says, I think he will throw a fit. I see. Yeah, I mean, it's hard. That would be really tough, right? Not being there with your wife over Christmas time for sure. But yeah, she says he's just loud and riles the other kids up. Yeah. And you know what? How I do see this playing out is I do think the two of you will end up being together over Christmas time, but it looks like that invitation kind of comes a little bit later, before he's welcome to join. But to me, it looks like he's at least a little bit in some regard on the fence about where he ends up wanting to go. And it's kind of like that is how it ends up falling into place, following at the very end. Now, how this is all going to go in general. Well, if I will start with what I'll say is either the negative or the pinch point, the resistance that I see in here, it's going to be a bit tricky around your daughter-in-law until the baby comes. I just feel like her demeanor, how she's carrying herself, it feels like you get there and you end up doing a fair bit of work around the house. It's almost like you walk in and it seems, I'm just picturing almost like a small amount of mayhem, if you will. Did you guys ever watch which movie is that? Home Alone. Now that we're talking about Christmas movies, when the pizza guy comes and he opens the door and everybody's just running around, and it's a bit crazy, where it's like that is perhaps not necessarily the expectation of walking into there, but it's a very busy environment, and I see a fair bit of weight falling onto your shoulders of either planning the dinner, doing the grocery shopping, making the magic of Christmas happen. You going to be the Santa Claus, my dear. Santa and Mrs. Claus, of pulling that Christmas together. So it's she says, oh, definitely a disaster. LOL. So yeah, and I can literally show you kind of she says, I did this last time I went there. Okay, yeah. Oh, sort of landed up like this. The 10 of Wands into the Tower, where it's like, all right, here you go. Making the magic all happen, bringing the presents, organizing the things, keeping the house together. Do they have other children as well? Like, is their house relatively full? How big is this family? Because the other card I have here is the 10 of Coins. So where you're saying initially, it's not going to be a huge family Christmas. It still doesn't seem like a quiet, like a quiet little quaint, you and it's not it's not an uneventful affair, is what I want to say. So if they've got, and is her family nearby too? It still feels like there is a family vibe around, but it's not the full extended bunch, not the whole Brady bunch. She says, yes, this will be the 4th kid, tiny house. Okay, I see. And then this would be the 10 of Pentacles reversed. So yes, wow, that's an exciting venture. But you know what? So again, at the top of my spread here, I've got a couple of cards. I've got the Ace of Cups as well as the 4 of Swords. So particularly with your son that's in Germany. Oh, she says she has a cousin there. Okay, well, they may be stopping by as well. Or some friends, some guests, somebody coming to the comings and goings, not anybody else staying there with them while you were there. But if I want to look into with your son, particularly in Germany, and this is kind of neat that this card came up, because in the window here, you've got the stained glass where it's like there's the 2 people over here and someone here. And this card often comes up for me either in a long distance relationship or I am here, people I love are there, but both of us are doing really quite well. So I do feel like, and especially now, with the power of Zoom and FaceTime calls and things like that, even though you're not going to be right there with your son, know that him on his own, the way he's going to celebrate Christmas, I don't know if he has a significant other, but he's not celebrating it alone by any means. Like, he's got something fun to do there as well for himself, which is really quite nice. Then, and at the top of my spread here with this Ace of Cups, finding a level of beauty in that mayhem and in that craziness. I think that to say this in this sense, like, your cup will be full with the busyness of that Christmas. It's not going to feel well, okay. I will say this, sort of this. She says, I'm sure he will be good. He's got good friends in the army. Okay. Yeah, wonderful. So he's well looked after around that time, which is very nice. So here is where I will say too, there does seem to be like fleeting moments when it's in between the moments when all of the craziness is going on. There are going to be parts of you that does feel like it's not entirely complete. So what I would say in terms of guidance or advice here with your daughter, to either plan an additional Christmas or your own Christmas that you can celebrate with her before or after. And I feel like before might be the right move, but after is fine as well, because it just seems like that it's going to be a bit strange that on actual Christmas Day and around that time that some of the traditions and things that you've put into place are just taking on a very new shape, especially with a new little one coming around. It's going to be a very busy time. But to not see that as okay, I'm missing out on the Christmas or the traditions, things that I have with my daughter as well, even if she'll be spending it with her boyfriend. So really plan something additional to celebrate any of the things you would do at Christmas time because you are planning to be there. Do another like a special Christmas dinner with you and your daughter, or any of your friends, because to me it looks like Christmas is always a very busy time of year for you, and there's some things that you're not looking to sacrifice, give up, or just miss entirely, because of course it's wonderful to be there with your grandkids and all of the beautiful craziness that will ensue, but not being home. She says, yeah, and after Christmas would be good. Yeah, for sure. To have sort of a bit more of a low-key one. But I will say to not worry about if it feels like you're giving up too much to be there, and to giving up too much of either your own traditions or the things that you like to do. That can always be planned either before or after. So to me, how this is panning out, to sum it up on a high level, it seems like a very extended Christmas season, starting early, attending any parties, gatherings, the things that you want to do with friends, family beforehand, going there, and then let the party keep on rolling after you come home. and just, I want to say, if you're worried about missing out on stuff, it doesn't need to happen that way. In fact, it looks like it just draws out the season, and you're just doing a heck of a lot more. To be honest, this looks like a blast, a whirlwind, a whirlwind, but an absolute ball. I think your heart will be very, very full with your decision to go there and be there around the time the new baby's coming, despite the challenges that brings being in a small space. You're still around a lot of family. She says, you're right. I needed to hear that. The chaos will prevent me. The chaos will prevent me dwelling on. Yeah, it's like, but it's not a dramatic, terrible, oh my God, get me out of here all the time chaos. In some, like I said, there will sort of be these fleeting moments where you might look around and say, why am I here? I miss my kids, or it's just sort of these little sprinkles in between of missing out on certain things. But in the end of the day, it's beautiful. She says, it's my first grandson. I'm so excited. Oh, congratulations. That is so darn exciting. Wow. Oh, that's going to be so nice. And I love that one too here with the extra. We've got, I don't know if you can see it in the upgrade card. We've got the new little one here on the side. That is just absolutely precious. Yeah, don't dread this or be too overly concerned, worried about it. I just got the words, you can sleep when you're dead. But like in the most loving way, like, can you go there and just enjoy this crazy whirlwind, and then come home and relax after you get home, and ease into the Christmas season at a different rate than the high octaneness that it's going to carry while you're actually there. So don't worry about, I wouldn't concern yourself with this. It's not the wrong decision. It's going to be messy, but it's going to be really beautiful. I also feel like too, this is really not your first rodeo. Like, how Christmas runs, what food needs to be there, how to kind of keep the household together, how to make the magic happen. She says, I'm very happy, and yeah, I have to go nonstop every time I've been there, so that's okay. Yeah, you know, there is a beauty in that, and yeah, you being there to help organize said chaos is going to be very welcome. Very welcome by the family with the new baby coming around. But I do like this as an option being presented of, should I go there and do this, and how is that all going to go? It's fun. It's crazy. You're going to be exhausted, but you're going to have a new baby to play with, and you know, you're going to bring the presents. You're going to help with the cooking and cleaning, but I feel like you're going to get home and it's going to kind of feel like I wouldn't have had it any other way. She says, everyone says that they will be fine and they understand, but there's that little voice, you know? Yeah, of course. And like I said, I'm not jumping past the challenges that this is going to bring, and how like I just feel like the toll that it's going to take on you physically, mentally, to be there, it's really going to feel worth it. She says, exactly. Yeah, it's going to be fun. And I feel like if you weren't there, you would really regret it. You're both going to come home with, okay, that was crazy, but I'm really glad I was there for that. And I'm really glad I didn't miss that. That's really special. I'm so excited for you guys, and I'm very pumped I got to do a Christmas reading. I have like Christmas decks. I was using them around Christmas time last year, and I never would have thought to have a Christmas deck on stack here for my my June show. but that would have been cool as well, my dear. So let me go ahead. I'm gonna just lay a couple of oracle cards here as well. She says, "Oh, Cassidy, thank you. I feel so much better now." You are so welcome, my dear. My absolute pleasure. Just going to sum this up here with a couple of my sacred travelers, as you will be taking a trip there. What are the final sort of messages that we have coming to you? Oh, okay, check this out. This is very cool. So the first card, it says distant thunder, clear the air. And this is where I can see and still sort of tap into that level of concern of, am I really going to leave my castle where I am quite happy and quite content to head into what is otherwise the eye of said storm? The second card I have, it says vast vistas, expand your horizons. There we go. The suitcase is packed. We're looking forward. All right, I have decided to go. Again, at this moment, it still feels rather solitary. So I'm still picking up that your husband is not part of that initial planning picture. Because it seems like his invitation kind of comes later. He may even choose not to go, but he does get the option to go as well. And then this last card I have here, which is such a cool thing to end this on, it says crossing bridges. It's time for healing, connecting, mending, and releasing. And there she is in the moonlight with her lantern, coming to otherwise save the day and be the hero to the family that is gonna be very, very happy to see here. So like, isn't that just the coolest little progression? It actually came up in the other way there. So it was like, oh, do I want to do this? Okay, I've packed my bags, and it's like, there I am. I'm going, and I'm going to connect with this, and I'm gonna love the fact that I was there when this little guy comes into the world. So thank you so very much again for your donation and for your support. And great question. I mean, we'll keep in touch for sure, but I'm really excited for you to go on that trip. She says, oh, I love that. I love that too. Look at this. You know, girl, I'm going to send you this picture later, but look at that. There's you with your lantern, and you're just the ghost of Christmas present. You know, you're just that one that comes in. It's kind of like the chaos isn't mine, but I'm here to be a part of it and just help. Like the fairy godmother. There we are. Very much so, that fairy godmother energy coming forward. So thank you, my dear, and good luck. I can't wait. We will certainly keep in touch as we get closer to Christmas time. When you were saying the holidays, I was thinking like, oh, talking July 4th, but like, no, Christmas reading? Oh, that just completely rouged me up. She says, and I'm going to bring them out to see the moon. My granddaughters don't get to go out at night. Oh, so that is amazing. Oh, that's so nice. And you bring your lantern. Oh, and some cool witchy things. Oh, that's so cool. That's so beautiful. Have fun. Okay, that's going to be such a special experience for you. Oh, that's so nice. Guys, this is so much fun. And again, thank you, Rebecca. That was a blast. So everyone who is here tuning in, hello, thanks for watching. This is, I'll just announce it again, a VIP show, so it is by ticket only. The ticket link is floating around here in the chat box somewhere. Ah, there it is. Awesome. So you can go ahead and grab your ticket there. There are two options. The mini reading is for kind of one question, not timed, so as much as we need to say about it and as long as it needs to get the message out. Or the mega reading is if you've got, you know, multiple questions, sort of a couple of different situations. It's just sort of a bigger, more complex situations as well. So those are the two options on offer this evening. So, all right, I'm going to have a little bit more cosmic cranberry here. Oh, delightful. And I'll be ready for the next question, please. All right, so this is Audi Knocker Igor. Hello, my dear. You've got a kitty picture. Are you a fellow cat lover? I've got one sleeping right there, and I don't know where the other one is right now, but oh, I hope this is your kitty. That's so cute. So Audi says, what path would I be happiest on? What steps can I take to achieve it? Okay. And she says, by which I mean career/social path mostly. Cool. All right. So what path would I be happiest on? Is there, my dear, are there different paths that you are considering? Because what I can do is ask about them individually, or I can ask, you know, just generally speaking. Yep, that's our Drusilla when she was a baby. Oh, the little baby. Him. Oh, yes. Oh, okay. He's so cute. Oh, my gosh. I just want to squish him. I love kittens so much. I swear the internet made cat videos just for me. So in terms of looking for the path forward for you, do let me know if there's, like if you're weighing out particular options for the path forward. But apart from that, I'm happy to just lay some cards and see what that kind of looks like for you, what information or guidance there is to move forward on your path. Ooh, a couple of decks are lighting up under my hand here for where this needs to go. Just going to have a little sip of my water. Okay. So for our dearest Audi Knocker here, or Audi Knocky, sorry, Audi Knocker. Audi Knocky Igor. For your path moving forward, let's take a look. They say, I've been all over the place with the ideas, DX, scientific and historian routes, educational route, physical labor, tech school, that kind of stuff has been prevalent, but I'm at a loss. Oh, right on. Okay. Ooh, okay. Ideas, scientific, historian routes, educational, physical labor, tech school. Oh my gosh. Oh, this is so exciting. Okay. To the lovely folks in the back, if you wouldn't mind leaving that one up, because I kind of want to take a look at these all individually here a little bit, because this is very cool. And then what I'm going to do, so I want to sort of look at these all individually, and then I also am interested in looking at just sort of overall a path forward. Actually, I'm going to lay that one first. I'm going to do that part first, and then I want to look at each of these, because I think it is very useful to sorry, it's just I'm getting so much information for this already. This is so cool. Okay, your kitty is flipping adorable. Let's take a look, my dear. So I want to just ask initially here a path forward where you can find most happiness. Oh, dang. Okay, so, whoa. Okay, I feel like the best thing for you, the best attitude for you, oh, I don't want to jump right to the end, and I'm not going to, because I want to focus on where we are today and here and now. The position that you find yourself in right now, my dear, one of the best things that you can do is experimenting with different things and not holding yourself to needing a plan of action for the next 10, 20 years of your life today. The first card I have here down is the Magician reversed. And it's coming across as so try this, try that, try it all. Look into this, look into that. And I feel like that's probably in the space that you're at right now, because you've already given me a number of different areas that you're looking into. So you're like, Cass, I'm already asking, which way do I go? Because there's so many different things. But initially, if you can, what can you do to move forward in each of those areas that, yeah. What can you do to move forward in each of those areas without committing to a salaried position, 4-year college degree? What can we do to dip our toes into multiple different things at once and just go that little bit further? Because I feel, oh my gosh, I feel like you're an incredibly talented person who's going to find love in a number of different things that you do. And how I see this planning out is you finding a way to excel and blend multiple things together to create something that either the world hasn't seen yet or that you have not considered to be a thing yet. Because I don't want you to get mixed up in, I have to be a this thing or I have to be a that thing. You are going to end up being a this thing and a that thing and a that thing. So in your initial steps here, gathering that little bit of experience in a number of different areas, I think is going to really be a key way to get started and to get moving forward, to not turn anything down before you've given it a shot. But if there's even just like free online classes or reading a book or listening to a podcast, but doing something in the direction of a bunch of different things to not to not feel like there's any level of commitment that you have to make to something, but to get a bit more information in a bunch of these spaces. So I keep hearing like he's already doing that. He's already on that path. So, but keep going with that initially. And because I'm not seeing, to say this way, I'm not seeing your path being a traditional one. I'm not seeing a path that is starting at point A and going to point B the same way that Tom, Dick, and Harry went through and did the things. Like, your path is so uniquely fascinating. And he says, I love poking around and learning new stuff. I think it's part of why I've gotten so tangled up. Okay, but don't dwell on the fact, or don't say to yourself that it's a roadblock or that it's in some way hindering you from moving forward. Because I feel like there's within you, and perhaps even just within society, a feeling of like, okay, I need to specialize. I need to figure out that one thing that I'm going to be and go ahead and be that thing. But your path is so much more diverse than that. Because I feel like it ends up looking like either a part-time job with a course and a side hustle for yourself. Like, it just is such a balls in the air in multiple different areas path forward. This I can't stress this enough. This experimentation process, diving a little bit deeper into a number of things, and it's not going to, even if you start a job and you quit it after 3 days, that's a chunk of experience that you hadn't had before. There is a need to, I'm just going to say there's a need to try and fail. There's a need to experience, experiment, and back away. And it's kind of like the wrong thing to do is find that one thing now and go down that path, because it's really fascinating how I'm seeing that plan play out. It's kind of almost like a ping pong machine where it's like that person that you met at this one thing ends up over here. And it's like, it's just such a beautiful interconnected web that we weave. I am having so much fun with this. That's even the first card. Card 1. Now, the next 2 cards, this is where I'm saying it's fascinating. So my 3 cards that I laid down kind of initially as that message for you, I have the Magician reversed, I then have the Emperor, I have the Tower. So this is why I was just like, look at this. Like, look at these energies. Look at how much excitement is over here and on the table. Because that Magician is what gives rise to that Emperor Tower combination. Because I'm not seeing you necessarily. I think it's going to be quite important to either have some degree of either a day job or a part-time job while you are exploring and experimenting with something else. To me, it's showing chaos, chaos, chaos. But like the most the most epic type of chaos, my darling. It looks like the path that you will, and again, we're gearing this to where you will find the most happiness. I feel like you need to be stimulated in a number of different areas, and any one thing being too consuming just will almost get boring for a time. If it's not captivating, you're not learning and growing and experiencing new things, it's going to kind of fall off. So I feel like the combination is going to be your friend as opposed to the singular path forward. So again, it feels like I'm taking a course, I've got a part-time job, I'm learning this thing on the side, or I'd have this side business situation. Like it's just initially this phase we're moving into here. Don't run yourself out, my dear, but the more balls in the air, the better. The more you have experimented with and tried out, I think is really going to be your friend. So can I have that other question back up? I want to address specifically there, because you gave me such a lovely list. Just these different routes here, because I just think like all of them have something to offer. And you're sitting there like, Cass, that's not helpful. I can't do all of the things. And it's like, but you can do more than one of the things. And as soon as you sort of accept within yourself that it's not, okay, I have to commit to one thing, because I feel like your mind is saying, oh, if I do this thing, it is equally hearing, but I'm giving up all of these other things. Don't pigeonhole yourself before you've seen how expansive this can be. He says, I see, that definitely checks out. Okay, right on. Cool. So I'm gonna ask, like, let's do a card on each of these specifically. So we have DX Scientific and Historian. Okay, so we're gonna do those ones. So okay. So first one, Scientific, Historian. Okay, educational route. We've got physical labor, tech school. Okay, so I'm going to I've got another deck here. I want to go ahead and just pair these over. So I don't know what DX Scientific is. Is that like derivative scientific? I don't know what that is. But I've said that one separately from Historian, so I don't know if that's the same thing. But in case it is two different things, I am looking at them. DX is separate. It's a face, mostly like biology or zoology. Oh, okay, cool. All right, thank you, my dear. That sounds great. Okay. All right, thank you. If you don't mind leaving that one up, because that is the spread I have laid in front of me here. So even though it's not in the category that I laid it in, the biology zoology thing is quite interesting to me. That feels like a dream that is quite deeply seated and has been around, rattling around in your brain for quite a long time. That one, I feel like your connections with the animal world. And not just the animal world. I don't know if you're interested in like plants, bugs, life forms in all that they are. I feel like you've got a very fascinating connection that has been around a long time. That would certainly be worth exploring. So I just want to throw that in there as well. So for the scientific path, I don't mind the way that looks. But what I see here for that one is not immediately. I'm pushing that one back a little bit. It looks like that offers good if you are looking to pursue that. I love bugs. I've considered checking them out, even shrimp and crabs and stuff. Oh, okay, the marine lifestyle. Okay, that's very cool as well. I like that a whole lot. The scientific aspect of things, what I want to say there is to not I'm looking, so like I want to give you advice today moving forward into the next little while. I'm not seeing like academic study or scholastically, not to enroll necessarily in a program for that. If you are looking to pursue it, some level of field or job experience would really be the way to go. So if you're interested in exploring that one more, the fit looks good, but I think going into a program for that is not the right way forward. But if a job opportunity presents itself, that would be a really good way to look into that one. The historian option, to me, also the two cards I have there. Oh, and I'll show you just in case y'all are all interested. I have the Seven of Swords reversed and the Moon card from the Lenormand. So the next pair I have there with this historian root, I've got eight of coins in reverse, as well as the child card. So that one also to me seems like you've got some unanswered whys within yourself. Where you would take history, I would say is really quite novel and quite unique. And it's almost like with this child card here, it's like some why questions you've had from when you were little, or why things happened the way they did. If you were to go into the historian route, I don't know if you're thinking more like archaeology or things, I'm seeing like digging up bones, stuff like that. You could take that in a very cool direction as well. That is pointing me more towards like a school or a program for that. I will say, though, out of all of the options, that one feels more curious, interested, throwing it in the hat, as opposed to like my soul wants to take me there. So I'm not going to spend any more time on that one. It's not a bad option. And I think you could do well in that field, but I also feel you might get bored in that field. Looking at education route. So this is where I'm saying is quite neat. So when you're talking about education, I don't know if you mean education of people, but like if you have considered some degree of like that educational route with the either biology, zoology, because I've got the strength reverse as well as the snake card, where it's either like, not seeing like a lion tamer or necessarily something to that degree, but it's I would say moving that's one I could see being very well blended with another option. He says that makes sense. Yeah, it's a lot of curiosity, especially in the social aspect of history. Oh, very interesting. Okay, cool. And again, I feel like that's sort of one of those things that will bubble its way into your future, but I would say that's not the, I'm not saying like go for that one and only that one. Not at this time. But so the educational route, this is where like it seems so much more either around animals, around different populations, as opposed to just like teaching people. And I don't know if that's something that you have considered as well. Again, what I'll say here though too is thematically looking likely, or as your best option forward, I would say is to look at opportunities in the short term where you can either work in these fields or get experience in them before signing up for a extended program. If you're looking at schools or training in some regard where it can be something shorter or not a massive financial move where it's like I have to sign up for this massive program at this many $1,000s, to me, I'm seeing a hesitation of all eggs in one bucket immediately. He says, oh yeah, I wanted to be a dog trainer for a while, actually too, LOL, but I fear starting my own business. Well, spoiler alert, I think you will. I do genuinely see that being largely where this is going, at least in a part-time sense. Like a key to happiness, and I don't mean to like overwhelm and just like throw all this onto you, but I kind of said it to you there before, is like a wonderful thing to do would be, I'm taking a course in this, I've got a part-time job here, and I am doing my own thing here. To me, it's coming across straight as a trifecta. So where you're the fear of starting your own business, if I were you, I just fear like how far you could go with that, my dear. I like the dog training aspect of that. That is very cool. And even the dog training, dog walking, something that where I'll say too, with that, starting your own business with a small capital investment would be a great way to get started. So I know for a dog trainer, you probably need some certificate and things like that, but maybe start with like dog walking or house sitting, or you know what I mean? Something in that regard. Because it doesn't cost a whole lot of money to get going in that. Because again, tying it all back to, and I can feel that this is maybe driving you nuts a little bit that I'm saying this, and I apologize for that, but singular focus is not going to be your friend right now. And it's like, but I'm looking for advice for the thing to do. And it's like, but try a bunch of different things. Doing all of the things I'm liking the look of all of the things. But I want to finish kind of what I've got going here. So the physical labor route. Okay, and here we've actually got the dog card, which is neat. The dog card and the Knight of Wands in reverse. So I really quite like that aspect of it too. And I think you will, what physical labor jobs can bring you is, I would say, familiarity with the surrounding that you're in, a good way to meet people. And honestly, I think you'll find you really enjoy kind of moving your body and using your physical strength to get things done and get out and get experience and to get moving. He says, not makes sense. I hadn't considered there'd be a way to try them all, but that encourages me to look into it more. Also, OMG, yes, yes. Okay, like I really think that is a great way to move forward. So the physical labor thing, that one to me is showing like a good short-term pursuit. To me, where it seems like where I'm saying, don't necessarily start the program right now or get into something where you're locked into a huge commitment immediately. The physical labor is one that I could say you could jump into really quite quickly. And I think you'd really enjoy it. It might be nice for you to, have you had a physical labor job previously? Because it feels like exploring a whole new side of yourself through the strength of your body. I think that's a neat thing to explore, and I feel like you'll have a lot of fun with it. With this dog card here too, it means, I would say, meeting good people, like having friends in the field, and just like that nice sense of going out in fresh air or being out in an environment. To me, that's showing one that can be implemented quite quickly and would be a good thing to look into in the short term as well. So tech school. Tech school is quite interesting as well. For tech school, I have the High Priestess reversed, as well as the man card here from the Lenormand deck. So I really like the look of tech school. He says, I have not, but I've been wanting to move around more and develop my strength and meet people. Funnily, it's been lonely. Totally. And you know what? All of these cards, kind of an undertone here of this is, I would say, expanding your network. Like I've got the dog card, which largely represents like friends, connections with other people. The child card, going out and experimenting, exploring new things, also surrounding friendship. And then we have the literal man card here too. So with this tech one, which I think is quite interesting, if you were to look into some degree of formal study, and I'm going to say this again, to not jump, I'm going to say this one more time and I'll stop saying it because I've said this a few times before, to not jump immediately into a long committed program at this point in time. But what I really like about this High Priestess card is I feel like your relationship with tech is quite interesting. Like, I don't know if you know coding or if you know, like if you have been involved in this world in some way, but I'll say this too, you haven't been corrupted by the academic streams of tech. By, when if you sign up to do some like software engineering or computer science, that is a program that's fantastic and it makes wonderful people. But it's like, it also, it's a training program that will shift one's way of thinking to look like this, as opposed to, I would say, the more intuitive side that you have surrounding how you look at tech and how you would work with it. That would be quite fascinating. So similar to where I'm saying that physical labor job, I like that for sort of an immediate, we can put this one into motion, set your sights on something. If I were to say like move forward with stuff, the more the better. Experimenting, fantastic. But starting some degree of physical labor thing on the shorter term looks good, as well as I'm really liking what I see with this tech aspect. But again, are there like free online courses? Are there YouTube channels you can watch? Are there questions that you can get answered and learning experiences, skills that you can find for free? Because it's not really saying to me that traditional go and study, but it's like, it's kind of cherry picking out the education that you want to get for yourself. He says, what I'm hearing from this is I have to nurture that damn Aquarius in me. Yes. Hello, Aqua. Yes. Yes, absolutely. The more that we nurture that, the better, because it will just keep running from it and it'll just keep pushing forward. So yes, anytime we can align more with our chart and what is in our natal chart, the happier we will pretty well find ourselves. So I do want to lay just a couple more cards here for you, my dear, but I'm I am really excited about where things are going for you, because with that Tower card as well, in pursuit, you've asked me about your career, but what I'm seeing here is a change in every aspect, element, and of like your whole life. To me, it's zooming this all way back out. He says, oh, there are lots of free courses for programming and stuff. Fantastic. I feel like that's, and I would say too with that, to not treat it as like, oh, it's a free course and I don't need to do it, because sometimes we do that with free stuff, but to make yourself your own kind of training program. Like, I want to get this course done by this amount, after this amount of time. I want to do it at this rate. Sort of like your own self-disciplined way of teaching that to yourself. But yeah, so like I said, this being about your career, we've already touched on, meeting people, getting out there more. That's where that Tower card, I'm not seeing it so much as chaotic, dear God, watch out, because it's anchored so beautifully beside the Emperor and the Magician, where it's like, we are talking about giving your life a shake in a fantastic way. Things that have not worked for you or aren't working for you, where you're not finding fulfillment. It's like, all right, these things aren't working. Time to go. And a change of scenery, right? This card has shown me personally 2 different times of when I have moved, and moving to either a new city or a new part of the city, and just, my gosh, how things change when we are in a new environment and surrounded by new things. The opportunities are different. It can be scary as heck, but this is beautiful. This is really beautiful what this is leading to. He says, I love seeing the Tower positively. It can be a really exciting card that way. Absolutely it is. It 100% can be. And that's how it's genuinely how I'm seeing it. And if it looks sketchy, I'd be like, yo, watch out. But I'm not. It's like we're changing the game. We're changing the game of your life. It says, it's one of my favorite cards, along with the Knight of Swords, which I feel says a lot about me. LOL. Oh, that's fantastic. Or lol, I should go ahead and say. So I've got 3 cards here from my Sacred Travelers Oracle. The first one says, embracing enthusiasm, shouts to the heavens with happiness. Oh, that's so cute. Oh, okay, it's reminding me of something. And sometimes when I am reminded by something that I have read previously, I'm going to go ahead and bring this up here as well, where it's saying embracing enthusiasm. So even kind of as I was talking, within yourself, where did you find you were the most excited? What things, even laying that list out for yourself and saying, okay, I am going to go and pursue this. How does that make you feel? Really listening to where you find that natural enthusiasm, and that, like, oh, that would be so cool if I woke up every day and I was an X. So, and where the thing was like, I thought about is, like envy or jealousy, how much that can tell us about what we want. Who are you envious of? Whose life out there are you like, man, I wish I had that for myself? And not necessarily, random famous rich people, but in a really general sense, or a genuine sense, I should say, like, what do you see in other people that they have, not physical things, but lifestyle? Whose lifestyle am I envious of? What is that really showing me about the truest desires that I have? Keep that one in mind. Embracing that enthusiasm. I like that one a heck of a lot. This next one says impasse. Reflect and redirect your energy. And this card is so cute. It's got a little squirrel and it's heading to this path, and there's a big brick wall here. So even, I will say, right following this reading, because I'm pumping this up because I'm genuinely seeing flippin' fantastic things. He's saying, I got excited when you pointed out that I could find ways to try new things and meet people actually. And it's weird, but I get most jealous of people who get out and do new things with friends. Yeah. See, and that's as well too what that Tower card is talking about, because you're asking about career, but we are talking about life overhaul here entirely. And I love the fact that 3 of the most friendliest Lenormand cards kind of came as underlying, and with work here too, right? That moon card being my work card in this particular deck. It is, all of these are pointing to new communities of people. So think about that too as well, like where I'm saying that self-study stuff, or trying different things, even online groups and things that you are looking at. I know we're looking for more in-person stuff, and that I think too with that physical labor type job would be a great thing to look at. But any of these sort of interactions with other people, finding people that are interested in this to get excited about it with. Like there's nothing for me personally, when I meet people or I'm around people that like cards, like I am just thriving because I am jittery and excited about cards, and they give a damn too. And it's like sharing that excitement just adds so much fuel to that fire. So where I want to go back to this impasse card, so it says reflect and redirect your energy. The little squirrel there heading towards the brick wall is kind of what I want to say coming up and out of this reading. We have this embracing enthusiasm, and I am pumping up your future because it looks flipping fantastic. There's so many fun things to look into. Following this reading, it may go ahead and take a bit of almost a stagnated turn, and don't be hung up on that and don't be too concerned about that. I feel like it's maybe even a little overwhelming, or it's like, okay, I still don't feel like I know my way forward, but it's all part of this process, because look at this third card that I have. It says navigating by the stars, follow your bliss. And it's got this guy here, he's got his backpack and his lovely little staff, and he's heading out, following the stars down this fantastic pathway. So we're literally presented with a path right now that has this big brick wall in front of it. And that wall is then removed, and you're following and navigating. You're following your bliss, being navigated by, and what I like that too with navigated by the stars, when you talk about that in the way that it's meant, it's like, okay, there's the star, and I'm going this direction. But how this is presenting itself to me, it's like navigating by the stars, by the multiple different light posts that you have to explore and experience for yourself. Go out there and try things, and don't worry about this is gonna, I need to be committed to this one thing for a long time. Just the name of the game is as much experience as you can. Let's get some cool stuff on the resume. Let's meet some people. Let's go out and just like, I think this is so fantastic. this tower coming out of this, and look at that too. What's going to blast up that wall? Well, there we have the tower. So it's largely going to, I will say too, to not blow past that, right? I'm sitting here just psyched out of my mind. But anytime we go through a massive shift and change like that, it can be very dissociating, very challenging, very, what am I doing? What have I got myself into? I don't know if I can do this. Those little voices that say we can't. Don't just push through that. What do they say? It's like when you're uncomfortable, that's when you need to keep going. And, be careful with that phrase as we will, but that's how that fear, those are those beautiful growing pains that kind of push us forward. So I think that this little 3 set here is so darn cool. It came up this direction like that. We're moving past this impasse. Again, following this reading, I feel like you're still in that space for a while, but it really looks like it's going to shift and it's going to change. And he says, fight the comfort zone. 100%. 100% indeed. And don't worry about failing. Don't worry about needing to have it all figured out. You are meant to, at this, what I will say is, like, when you become your own emperor, you will look back on this time in your life and be like, man, I'm so glad that I did this and this and that and that, because at some point you're going to be in something for the long haul. And it's like this time right now is about not feeling like you didn't give anything a shot that you wanted to give a shot to, giving all of those things a chance and a try. And as cheesy as it may sound, navigate by the stars and follow your blisses. Follow all of your blisses. Give them all a little bit of your time, because I think some of them will fall off quite quickly, but it's the wrong thing to have someone say, oh, just don't do that, but actually give it a try. Think, okay, what kind of career does this lead to? Could I see myself doing this every day? It's like, ooh, I don't want to do that. All right, redirect. Keeping that longer term goal in mind, but not living for the long-term goal. That's what I want to say to you, my dear. So thank you so very much for your support and for donating to my VIP show here tonight. I am excited for you. This is really going to shake things up, and it's going to change a lot for you. I do see new friend groups coming along with this. I really like that aspect of moving your body, looking at different things, exercising your own sense of discipline as you're trying these things out. He says, yeah, that makes sense. Thank you so much. You're so very welcome, my dear. I'm genuinely pumped for you. He says, that is exciting. It actually is. It very much so is. I like that a whole heck of a lot. So go out there, have fun, try different things. There's no such thing as a wrong move right now. Do it. Try the things. So yay, thank you so much again. And I genuinely wish you all the best. Good luck to you, my dear. So, all right, guys, I'm having so much fun for this. I'm just having an absolute blast. Thanks, everyone, for being here. And again, this is the VIP show. So if you're interested in having a session tonight, the link is floating around in the chat. So awesome. I'm going to, before we have our next question up, allow me to have, I'm going to double fisted here. Cheers, everyone. Happy Friday. A little sip of water, and then we'll finish it, wash it down with some cosmic cranberry. All right. Oh, that's so good. All right. Give these cards a good shuffle, and I'll be ready for my next question, please. This is for Glenafee. Hi, Glenafee. We have a mini reading. Thank you so much for your donation. And let's take a look at what she has to say. So, Glenafee says, moving from New York to Colorado as we speak. Oh, congratulations. I hope it's going well. I have moved a lot myself. Moving can be a bear. She says, moving from New York to Colorado as we speak. Would love to know what the next 3 months has in store for my life. I'm feeling very optimistic. All right, my dear. Thank you so much for your question. And if you have anything, I will say more specific, or anything that is you want to know. She says, hi. Hello, my dear. If there's anything you want to know about specifically, do go ahead and let me know, and I'll look into that in a much more specific sense. But I hope your move is going well. Let's take a look. I will lay this spread, like I said, a bit more generally speaking of how things look. But do, as I said, let me know if there are particular things that you're interested in knowing about this move. So again, you're like, whoa, Cass, you're taking your sweet time. And I'm like, yes, I am. Yes, I am. These are untimed readings. And I put a whole heck of a lot of cards down. So, woohoo. Okay, a couple just flipped out for me here. So, yeah, I mean, it's she says health and love. So, my dear, I can't touch physical health on this platform. So I can't do anything regarding a predictive sense for you. We are not able to do that. It's actually not legal in some of the countries that we are airing in. So by law, I am not able to touch the health topic, but I'm more than happy to take a look at love. And yeah, just let me know if there's anything else specifically you want me to look at. So what I will say here first, though, as well, is that this move, of these two cards that flipped out here, I have the Hangman and the Eight of Cups. And it's quite fascinating looking at this Eight of Cups here on this journey to move. I want to say if there's any part of you that is, I'm not saying necessarily regretting it, but wondering if you are in fact doing the right thing. I just get the sense that this is really something you needed to do, and you are moving forward towards something that is better suited to you. The environment that you were in, with coming out of that Hangman, it feels like you were really stagnated where you previously were. You weren't either meeting new people, finding new things, maybe the job. It just seems all around waking up in the morning like, is this it? It just, I feel very, I'll say, stuck and uninspired of where you are coming from and where you were. But I want to say kudos to you for moving out of a situation like that, because sometimes when we are in, you do see it happening when we just get comfortable or too comfortable with the lot that we have, and we just accept it. And I don't often get to kind of see a shift for someone where they've kind of recognized this is not what I want, up and moving somewhere else. And kudos to you. I'm really liking that shift that I'm initially seeing that this move is bringing. So as I said, let's kind of take a look here over the next 3 months, over the summer, of how we see this progressing, what we see coming up for you. Let's take a look here. There we go. It's funny when I'm not shuffling the cards, I can hear like the little birds. The birds, I've got lots of birds outside my window right now. All right. So, and I've got a love deck for me here. Well, maybe I'll just, yeah, I guess I'll start with the cards I have down, and then I will address specifically the love aspect, although it does seem to sort of, I'll say, play a bit of a role sooner than later over the next few months. So what I want to say, and depending on like the area that you're moving to, it looks like there's a bit of an adjustment period to getting settled in. And it seems like over and above, just having to unpack and get your space set up. But it does look like you'll be experiencing either a bit of dissociation or a feeling of, I'm not tapping all the way into regret by any means, but just almost feel like a little bit isolated or a bit out of your element initially when you first end up, in your new space. But as you are unpacking, sorting things out, I do see that fading relatively quickly and just having quite a bit more excitement for the space that's around you. Again, it's night and day from where you were to this new place. And let me know too, are you, is there anyone that moved with you? Are you moving here alone? Because it looks like, or sorry, are you moving either with someone, or are you moving there to be around someone, or if you know people in that area? Because initially here, what I have with this Two of Cups in reverse, kind of over this first month, is it looks like you will be, I would say, welcomed by people, but maybe not to the extent you're necessarily expecting initially. It's sort of a bit of a slower transition process as you get your life together. You move, you get yourself set up and situated. But I am seeing a number of pleasant interactions with others over this first month, kind of getting out into the community and getting yourself oriented for where you want to go. It sounds silly, but like things as trivial, as simple as, what grocery store do I want to go to? Where do I go for this and that thing? It comes across, I will say, with a tone of curiosity and welcome newness of being in a new place. So enjoy kind of these smaller interactions that you have with people over this first month of just kind of becoming part of this new community and meeting other people. So in this next line here, going into the second month, and these are relatively fluid. I haven't laid this spread as sort of, month, but just kind of a general of what you're looking to experience and expect. So by month 2, I think things will really start to feel like you'll gel and you'll mold into, you'll start to really feel a lot more at home there. So I go initially at the top from sort of that World card reversed into the Page of Cups, where it's like, all right, I'm situated here. I am actually a little more interested in the things. I'm not so much more interested, but I'm more involved in the space around me. I've got my feet under me. I'm oriented with where I am. And I kind of know where to get the things I am looking for. I'm just being pulled back here too. I don't know if there's some degree of a delay within this moving process. I know you said you're working on it right now. If you're either waiting for stuff to get shipped or if everything that's coming with you, don't get too hung up on the fact that it's not looking, catastrophic or super challenging by any means for kind of moving in, but it is showing either a little bit delayed or not going necessarily as smooth as you were looking for. But just know that by that second month, I feel like we're getting the place decorated as you like. You're really getting yourself situated in there. And I'm even kind of seeing, either having a guest over or at the very least, like going out and attending some sort of party gathering and meeting other people. That second month, it is a very large shift to how the first month feels. So I'll stress that again. It doesn't look like there's sort of an immediate click or connection, like you move in and you're just feeling like everything is awesome. Everything is almost awesome in the first month, but really by that second month, you're starting to feel a lot more at home there. And I don't know if you're working in this space as well, if you're starting a new job or if you are able to work. Because to me, there's also a thread of familiarity that is coming through with this, where it's like you have walked away from the stagnancy and from just an environment that wasn't giving you what you were looking for previously. But there's some tone of either familiarity or expectedness here. So I don't know if it is in the realm of work or if it's people that you know in this particular area, but it doesn't seem to me like you're entirely alone, or that it's just a space that you are kind of thrown to by yourself. So, do let me know if there's a work element involved there as well, because to me it seems like it's going to sound kind of strange, but by month 2, you're starting to feel like more of yourself. Like the parts that got either stagnated or hung up or stuck with where you previously were, we're starting to kind of breathe new life back into the parts that got hung up previously. Like I can't tell you the amount of new life or how much new life that second month feels. So hang on to that, because it does look like that first month is a bit slow to integrate and to move into your new space. And this third month too, like I don't know if you are planning on doing any traveling apart from this move, or if you've got someone coming to visit you, but it does look like we see more interactions with others by the time that third month rolls around. And again, I want to say to be careful to not re-invite that same stagnancy that you've had, that you're walking away from, because it's sort of like we're moving, we're getting settled in, and then this next month, okay, things are looking really good. There's new people, there's new places, it's very exciting. And then by the time this third month rolls around, I'm getting a message from the cards here to not necessarily warn you, but just to say be mindful of not doing what you came there to do. If you've made some degree of a contract or a deal with yourself where it's like, I want to, go out and meet people, I want to experience these things, to really keep those goals and priorities at the forefront. Because I'm almost seeing like a tendency to either stay home, stay a bit more reserved, stay closed, but then also have a yearning or a wanting for new friends and new people to be in your life. So try and balance that. I would say it's a competition between your goals and your priorities, what you want, with your actions, with how you are, naturally going about pursuing those particular things. So I do want to ask here specifically about love as well, with my love oracle deck here. If we see some degree of new love coming in now that you're moving to a new place. Let's take a look for you there, my dear. All right. Sorry about that. Let's go ahead and pop this back. Okay. Ooh. Hey, I am I'm not a sloppy card slinger, folks, or at least I don't think I am. And I've had a couple of cards hit the floor. So the very first card, and I mean, I don't know, if people watch my show or know my deal with my cards, it's like if something is going to flip out, it needs to be in the middle of my table. Otherwise, I don't look at it. But the way that flew and how it hit the floor, I'm going to go ahead and read that particular card. So it says worth waiting for. It says divine timing is at work in your love life. And I say that to just kind of say as well, like, don't rush the process of needing to find someone, or just feeling like there's some kind of time pressure that, oh, I've moved here and I wanted to find a person by this time, or I was expecting things to move more quickly than they end up doing. Because with this worth waiting for energy, it's not saying that there's not movement in your love life immediately, but to actually find that connection with someone that's worth waiting for is not something that can be pushed forward before it's time that it's sort of meant to come forward. So I want to lay a couple more cards here from this particular deck. Go. Okay. All right, so I've got a couple of cards down here. So the first one, it says children. It says your love life is being affected by children in some regard. So I don't know, like I said, if you have moved with someone, if you're living with someone, or if it's your children, someone else's. And it doesn't, with that being the card of children, it can also just be other commitments or priorities that you have that are interfering with your love life. So I will say, if there's any degree that commitments to other people are getting in the way of your ability to either put yourself out there, meet people, to just keep an eye on that, right? That are, again, I'll say that too, balancing your actions with your priorities. I feel like that's a message to really take on in a broader sense with this move, right? Like, okay, am I actually putting all of the effort in that makes sense, that will be the thing that leads me to where I want to go. So do keep that in mind. The next couple cards I have here, it says, pay attention to the red flags. The signs are cautioning you. So again, I want to put that here with this worth waiting for card, to not push something before it's show up time. But I will say, so with those two cards being, I will say, sort of my my warnings. The next card I have, it says romantic feelings. It says your feelings are real and worth exploring. So again, we're kind of looking over the next 3 months, and I will say that it does look like some romantic connection does come forward during this time. And it's not that this one particularly cannot move forward or move into something more important, even though I said, that worth waiting for card and the red flags card. Just to kind of, I would say, be as discerning as you are excited about the prospect of a new partner and meeting someone new in your love life. So just a couple other cards here. Yeah. No, okay, I do genuinely see someone coming in. It's almost kind of, I'm going to say there's two people that, and it's kind of coming either towards the latter half of this 2 to 3 month time period, but it seems like either you cross paths with them, you are texting, communicating in some regard before this time period. It is showing me two, and it's showing me one of them that's problematic. Which is kind of interesting, where I have one card that's saying pay attention to the red flags and the other one that's saying romantic feelings. Whereas I don't want you to miss out on, like I said, that balancing what your level of discerning with what you're actually wanting to achieve, keeping in mind, what are you looking for in love? Is it really clear to you who you want, or what type of person that you want, how they're going to fit into your life, and how are you going to put yourself in a position to meet that person? And just, I would say, always have fun, be safe, have a good time. But if you're looking for that something that's a bit deeper, something that is more, I will say that deeper level, heart level connection with somebody else, to not miss it by following the shiny object is what I want to say, because there is a note here as well, that there's a lesson that's been learned in the past by you around love that I don't want to see be repeated. And I someone will present a trait that seems to be like that red flag trait. But again, and this sort of fits as well, where I'm saying, even with it's coming across like I feel like I'm saying the same things, but kind of in two different ways. So these are more, I would say, life lessons, as opposed to just specifically surrounding, your move and this area, like living in a new place, as well as love. So to be very careful with the moves that you're planning on making, and how you are going about actually creating these scenarios and these things in your life. So I'll kind of just repeat what I said before, and then I want to tie it into how it makes sense with this love context. So like I said, in this 3rd month, if you're wanting to meet new people, you're wanting to explore new things. And again, I'm saying there's that warning of not falling back into the being more introverted, staying at home, and your actions not meeting up with the changes that you're wanting to see in your life. I'll say that then again, in terms of a relationship context, to not overlook the any red flags or any concerning behaviors that people will bring forward for the sake of it being, just someone new and someone to talk to. It's always, talk to as many people as you can, put yourself out there. But there is, I would say, a right person and a wrong person that does end up presenting themselves over the next few months here. And I don't want you to miss out on that right person due to either hurt caused by a previous wrong person, or what this other wrong person could bring forward in your life. So with that, though, too, I want to say, with an overall kind of energy of advice here, being that Chariot card, to counteract and counterbalance that Hangman. What I do want to say is you're moving for a reason. You are absolutely moving for a reason. You are moving away from a lifestyle and from people and from a situation that you don't want to see repeated in this new place. And it certainly doesn't have to be, but you may need to continue to remind yourself of that. You know, we just because we move from location A to location B, who we are doesn't necessarily change because you've put us in a new location. So any of those other things that you have to work through, particularly surrounding either keeping to yourself, anything that cultivates what you moved away from, don't let it come back. I'll say right from day one, this move is partly as well about reinventing yourself and reinventing your life. So if you want a new life somewhere, you have to be that next part, the next person. The new you needs to start when you move. And it's such a beautiful doorway to walk through. Like, okay, I'm literally in a new city. I'm in a different part of the country. I'm in a new space entirely. That will really help to, you can even decorate your house and set up your space to align with how you're wanting to live your life. But it's come up just a couple of times in the cards here for me to remind you that, because we move, we don't necessarily change. The change has to come from a very conscious effort on our part to always be mindful of like, oh, I didn't, I always, stayed home and didn't talk to anybody at this particular time when I lived there. But now that I'm moving here, I want to always go out. But then after a couple months, it's like, oh, I'm getting back into, you know what I mean? With this move, attach kind of those habits, attach those things that you're moving away from and really leave them where they belong, and invite kind of into this new space just a brand new you. This is really quite transformative. I'm going to lay one more card for you here, my dear, from the Sacred Travelers Oracle. And guys, this will be the last question of the night. I'm having so much fun. Oh, look at this. So this is I have actually never seen this card before. And I've worked with this deck for years. That's fascinating. This card says Rainbow Blessings. This is blessings are showering into your life. And look at that. It's kind of like coming out of what's a rather dark looking alleyway. It's bright out there. This is, almost sickeningly sweet, guys, like gorgeous. I love this energy. Moving out into like a sunshine, and there's the new home, and we've got the rainbow here. Like the door is open for you. You've already made this massive shift in your life. You've made the decision to make this change. You are literally, as you said, moving as we speak. Sending you, good luck and all the best with that. Moving can be such a bear, but blessings are showering into your life. We are literally moving from a place of that hangman, that stagnancy, and it doesn't need to. This new place is not going to be like, allow this to be a mantra, right? This new space is not going to provide a home for who I don't want to be. I left that there, and I am excited to have these new blessings in this new place. So open yourself to that, my dear. Continue to, I'll say, be very ruthless with your pursuit of what you want in your life. With that Chariot card too, particularly surrounding the love aspect, that is a very action oriented card. It is not an alluring draw to me energy. It is a going out and meeting and finding card. So if you are looking for love is out there. It is not in the bedroom, not yet, my dear, but all good things come in time. So thank you so much for your support and for your donation, and I do hope that was helpful for you, and good luck with the rest of your move. I hope that goes well. So guys, this is the end of my first VIP show. This is such a blast. I miss these shows. But a summer break is always a good time. And if you guys want to see me daily, I am doing the card of the day video here, on our YouTube channel. So if you are in case watching me somewhere else, go to YouTube, type in My Psychic Connection. Make sure you're subscribed to our channel for all of that fantastic content I was talking about there before. There's daily stuff, there's weekly stuff, and then we've got all the live shows during the week. And I will say too, guys, next week we are on break. So just as we're kind of having a break over the summer here, everyone is taking a bit of a break here next week. So celebrating Myself Canada Day tomorrow, and we've got July 4th next week. So while the live shows are having a quick pause, catch all the YouTube content next week, and then the live shows will be back the following week. So thanks, guys. I will be back for another VIP show, I guess 5 weeks from now. So catch me on the card of the day. And until then, good luck with everything that everybody's got going on. Enjoy your start to your summer. Let's cheers. One final cosmic cranberry, and well, you can't cheers and not. Hold on. You can't cheers and then put the glass down. Thanks, guys. Have a great rest of your Friday and a wonderful weekend ahead, and we will catch you at the next video. Bye, guys.